Okay, looks like we are live. Well, welcome everybody to Mappy Hour. This is our happy hour for those of us who love maps, also known as geocachers. So cheers, everybody. We made it to another Friday. Cheers. Great. Let me get more folks in from the waiting room. Okay, there we go. Awesome. All right, well, welcome everybody. I am Lisa, Lookout Lisa from Cache Advance, your host tonight for Mappy Hour, and our other host.
I'm JD, Kid Vegas 19.
Yeah, so welcome everybody. Boy, it has been cold and snowy up here in the Inland Empire, as we call it, in Eastern Washington State. And it's been obviously interesting weather all around for sure, making geocaching a bit challenging. So stay tuned at the very end. I've got something to help you get through the bad weather days, for sure, on when caching isn't all that great. You want to just stay home potentially, but you want to, keep the caching alive. So stay tuned for that. Let me get a few more folks in from the waiting room. There we go. So I see we've got folks chiming in from all over. If you're joining us on Zoom, go ahead and put in the chat where you're from. If you are joining us on YouTube, hey there, good to see y'all. And be sure, if you want to just join in the conversation, just go ahead and type into the chat. JD is monitoring that. And I see we already have some
Hey, we
folks.
got some folks in there. Hawaiian, my highway, I messed it up again. And Greg does it. Yes, Rhonda, thanks. Thanks for popping in.
Yeah, so go ahead and just type in the comments there, and then JD will bring in your conversation or your comment into our conversation here at Mappy Hour. So today is Valentine's Day. So, it's the day of love. And love can mean many different things. It can be, romantic love, like I got for this guy. It can be our love for adventure. It could be our love for the game of geocaching, and it could just be also our love for all of our friends in our geocaching community. So that's our topic tonight, is all about geocaching love and where that has taken you and inspired you, and any stories that you've got to share about that. But before we get there, we do have our notes from the field. We'd love to know, what sort of geocaching activities y'all have been up to the last couple of weeks, or since you've last joined us, or if you're brand new, we want to hear all about, who you are and where you're from as well. And I see hands are already going up, so that's awesome. So hang on, folks. So for
Miley, Hawaiian Miley. I
Miley,
must remember that.
Miley, yeah.
Thanks, Rhonda.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, Hawaiian is challenging. I know you pronounce every vowel, but they're pronounced differently than we think they are sometimes. Um, yeah, so for our notes from the field, please keep yourself to 2 minutes. That way everybody gets a chance to share, and then we can move into our conversation. And but before we even get there, I do have some ground rules just to keep everything running smoothly here at Mappy Hour. So please keep yourself on mute until you are called on to join the conversation. If you'd like to join the conversation, just raise your hand if you're in the Zoom room. And again, if you're watching us on YouTube, just go ahead and type in there, and we'll bring your conversation in. However, sometimes things come up out of order. Maybe you've got an answer for somebody, or you want to join in. You've got a comment that's relevant to something that was just shared. Just wave at the screen, and hopefully we'll catch you and we can bring you in out of order. Of course, keep everything family friendly. There might be kids in the room with us. We are live streaming to my YouTube channel at Cache Advance. And then also this is being recorded and will go into our Mappy Hour hub for anybody to, binge watch later if they want to learn more about how much we all love geocaching for tonight. Great. I think those basically cover
I think so.
the basics. So I see we've got some hands up already. And did you happen to notice what order they came up in?
Yep, Robert.
Robert?
Robert and then Mike.
All right, Robert, Mike, and then Charles. So take it away.
All right. I started this week by last weekend by finding 7 geocaches. So being able to add those to my find rate before the snowstorms came in, I stopped by a trackable hotel and dropped some trackables and picked up some trackables. And I'm getting ready for Sunday because in northern Colorado we have an event every February called Winging It. It is one of the biggest events in Colorado for the northern geocachers to host. There are prizes, there are geocoins, and it's just a fun time had by all.
Mhm.
Um, One of the trackables I picked up in the trackable hotel. Lisa, I wanted to know, do you recognize it at all?
I do. I think we made that tag.
Yep.
Yes, I'll put the tracking code in the number. It is in the chat. It is owned by Cash Advance.
Hmm.
Yep.
So I picked it up in the one of the cash hotels. It arrived safe here in Colorado.
Well, that's awesome.
It's interesting because that particular tag was built and released to promote the Geo Woodstock that was held in Denver.
Yeah, the
Yep.
one in Colorado.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was a race. All of our Cash Crate members received one. And then they were able to release it and were entered into a race. And we had winners
Hmm.
at Woodstock. Awesome. That's so cool to know that
Yes.
some of them are still around.
Yes, it's good always to see some of our travel bugs still out there and traveling. So I always like
Yeah.
to, if I know the cash owner, I'll try to share with them that, hey, it's still going and having fun.
Excellent. Yep.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. I
No
love that they
problem.
attached to it. That's pretty cool. All right. Thanks, Robert.
So I had my order reversed. It's Charles then Mike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mike pointed that out for me.
Ah, okay. Well, what a gentleman. All
Yeah.
right. So I guess it's Charles next. Thanks, Robert.
Yes, I haven't been on for a little while, well, except when I was at the airport,
Yeah.
but been pretty busy in the last month, discovering, traveling to Thailand, Cambodia, Sweden, and Denmark for the holiday. Just straight lines, right? Go back and forth. But during that time, I was able to find or complete 34 adventure labs
Nice.
in total, plus found multiple caches. Among them were the oldest in Cambodia, the oldest in Thailand, two targeted caches. And then when I went to Sweden, I was in Stockholm, so I took a little train and I went outside town. I got Match Stash, which is the oldest in Sweden. So that's a GC4D, which just happens to be the fourth, uh, one of the four still alive August 2000 caches.
Ah,
And then I followed that a few days later by finding GC6A, which is the oldest in Denmark. So that was pretty cool trip for four oldies.
Yeah.
And with that, what I accomplished, one of my goals that I've set up a few years ago is to complete a Jasmer, number 4. So I finished my fourth Jasmer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, technically, I don't have it anymore because I'm missing a few for February this month. But in order to do that for the last one, I had to be very careful because I went into my profile. I discovered that, whoops, I was missing a few November 2024 and one January 2025. So, whoops, that changed my little plans. I had to get those first, and then I went to finish my fourth Jasmer. So I was able to complete that. I did a lot of very interesting adventure labs over there in the old town of Stockholm. Saw bring you to different statues and different places of interest, which was good. I was all by myself during that time. And I must have walked, well, about 30 miles during those 5 days I was caching there. So my feet were hurting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So basically, that was a great trip. Enjoyed it. Now it's just to find another challenge. Somebody gave me an idea, but I don't know how to accomplish it. How to we accomplish that is having 10 loops for every month since January 2001. So that could be a little harder to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Is
quite
there enough?
understand.
Is there enough?
4 loops is basically from month of January 2001. Have
Mhm.
found at least 10 caches in each of the month.
Okay.
So yeah, that would be a hard challenge to do.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I don't know if it's
Oh.
even possible
Yeah.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I also was able to get a cache in Japan.
Oh.
I was supposed to go to Dubai, plane cancellation, end up going to Japan instead. And we're supposed to have an hour layover. We end up with about 25 minutes layover. But there was a virtual in the airport that just said that you had to take a picture proving that you were at the airport. So I took one at the gate where as I was getting my boarding passes to get on the plane. And
Hey,
if you've
that
never
counts.
traveled in Japan, it's so efficient going through. Even though we had a very short time, they had signs saying, "Hey, you're going to that flight? Yeah. Report here. Yeah, your name. It's okay now." And they had somebody guide you right through security because you had to go back through security. Went right through. And my daughter and I did not have a boarding pass to go through security. They just said, "Hey, you have your flight ticket itinerary?" Yeah, we showed them that's a go ahead. Your boarding pass is waiting for you at the gate. It wasn't too far. We got in there, got our seats. We both got upgraded at the same time, and then away we went.
Wow.
So it was absolutely amazing. It was an amazing trip too. Gold in Denmark was very awesome. My 2 minutes is more than over.
Well, that's okay. You had a
Yeah.
lot to share. You've been racking up the
Yeah.
frequent flyer miles for sure.
I did a few. Hopefully I'll get my status back for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so apparently Hilo came down for pet check a little early.
Oh, well, mine never come up for the
Yeah.
shot with the camera.
Oh, he'll be long gone when it's official pet checking.
Probably. He's been very sleepy lately. He's getting kind of old. Well, cool. Well, thanks, Charles. It was awesome hearing
Welcome.
about all your adventures. And congratulations on a 4-time Jasmer.
Yes,
So
thank you.
I haven't quite finished the second Jasmer, so well, yeah,
Yeah.
you've got a little bit of work to do.
Potter's Pond is not too far, JD.
Actually, I have that month. The month I don't have is November 2017.
I think we can solve that.
It's one of the rarer months.
We'll
Let
leave
me
it in
tell
our
you.
neighborhood.
Yeah, and everywhere we go.
No, okay, you've been looking, huh?
Yes.
We had a windstorm and a lot of people just stopped caching locally. So
Yeah, well, we just had a snowstorm. I came back the next day. It was 16 inches of snow that dumped on us. And we're getting another 16, 18 inches coming up Saturday, Sunday.
18 inches, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
In 24 hours. That'll be 3 feet of snow coming that's dropping on us in 4 days, 5 days.
Yikes. Yeah, we've had a few instances of that and it's no fun.
Still can go caching.
Yeah.
Now it's time to work on puzzles.
Okay, we should
thanks for sharing.
probably head on to now Mike's turn.
Yeah, we have Mike, Melissa, and then Tom.
Yep.
And yes, hello. Shh.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah. Not a whole lot, but last Saturday I had been fixing one friend's computer and then was headed to another for an appointment to fix that computer as well and watch a movie once that was done. And I was running early to the other thing, so I pulled off the freeway into a parking lot and brought up GeoGo to hunt for geocaches. Well, basically, I once I did that, I curled around behind the gas station, hung a left in front of the Family Dollar, and it was a light pole skirt. Meanwhile, all this snow going on, so it's like, bleh.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It looked like some kind of 3D printed green tube with a rubber gasket, and much larger than it needed to be for the log that was in it. And that's pretty much it. That's all the geocaching I got done in the last couple of weeks. But
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, wintertime, yeah, can slow down for sure. You
Mhm.
got some in, so that's good.
yeah, and although one thing I will sometimes do is I'll drive by places I found caches, and well, I know that's gone because there was this one place, there was an old restaurant there. They took that out and the brick wall that the cache had been hidden in and replaced it with one of those drive-up coffee shops. So, yeah. Hmm, bit of a bummer, but hey.
That happens. You
Yeah.
know, let's do a show of hands, Mike, with everybody. How many of us have driven by a place and went, oh, there used to be a cache there, right? Yeah. And it's not there anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually had that happen many times. On one or two occasions. On one occasion, I even actually was posting because they hadn't archived it, and the structure that the cache had been housed in had been completely removed. It
Yeah.
was hidden. It was hidden in a one of those posts they used to use for the public phones that weren't in a booth. Well, one day I drove by, even the little phone box is gone. So I posted a note. It took them a further 3 months before they archived that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a while. Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing, Mike. Yeah. So we got Melissa, Tom, and then Scott.
So my daughter had her biannual business meeting in Columbus, Ohio last week, and she takes me with her. And on the way home, we geocache. And she's so flexible. And so we kind of had to go, it was like a 10-hour trip home for a 3-hour drive
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
of how many miles we had to cover. But picked up 6 more counties in Ohio. So I think I only have 6 left.
Mm.
And then picked up 5 new counties in West Virginia. And except for well, it was supposed to rain all day, but we were pretty good. Only one cache did we get rained on. We had no DNFs, so didn't have to go for the second one in a county I had planned. We only had to go for the first. But then it poured on us the last hour getting home in the dark. So that part wasn't fun. But other than that, it was a very successful day. So very
Nice.
happy with our progress. Oh, and she has made her account, so she's actually officially logging now.
Oh, that's
Excellent.
fantastic. Great. Well, some good time with family and getting out caching. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. I think we've got Scott and oh wait, no, it was Tom, Scott, and then Ken.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tom.
Hi. So, yeah, good topic for today. I'm gonna put out another letterbox hybrid cache, and I don't know if you can see it. Probably.
Well, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's called Hearts and Flowers. There's entirely too much snow where I want to put it, so it'll probably be a week or two before I put it out.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's the. So yeah, that's the stamp that's going to be in it.
We are live. Well, welcome everybody to
You got to turn your.
Happy Hour. Sorry about that, guys.
Yep, that's about all the geocaching activity I've had in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Oh, cool. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Let's see, we got Scott's up next.
Yeah.
And Kim.
Mhm.
Yeah, so this last week, or last session, because I was in Yuma, it has not been snowing here, so I've been doing a lot of geocaching. Um, Probably too much that fill in 2 minutes. Doing a lot of background stuff, organizing a very large event down in San Diego, October 4th, that we cannot call a block party yet, but we got it approved, we got it published, and so we have an event, and in just a few days we have over 80 will attends. So yeah, so that's been a lot of fun, a lot of work, but a lot of fun. Um, and then had a great time in Yuma. Missed you guys, and yeah. So think that's about it. We did run around and do the Discover Yuma and missed you guys, but
Yeah.
but
So
had a
how
great
was the
time.
peanut patch?
The peanut patch is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I learned about something else, and I forget what it's called, but it's a place, it's like an outlet, a place where they just do overstock. And some people, and it's in Yuma someplace, and somebody was saying they stopped by there, and gonna definitely recommend that they add that um, to the Discover Yuma, because it looked like a great place to pick up geocache containers and a lot of other stuff. So,
Oh,
Nice.
awesome. Well, good
so
intel for next year. We certainly hope to make
Yeah.
it next year.
very good. Well, if you do, got space in the car for you.
Fantastic.
All right. All right. That's everything else is too complicated. So we'll catch you guys later.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, good to see you.
Good to be seen.
Awesome. Oh, let's see. We've got Ken next.
Greetings from Alabama. So I'm down at Bamarama right now. Spent a few days coming down here. Actually did some tourist type stuff, which was kind of strange. But left last Thursday night and drove down here. We got to the event area on Monday. We found 29 counties, new counties for me on the way down. And stopped and visited a few favorites. We actually stopped down in Rome, which felt kind of weird to stop there and not have a mega event going on, but it was kind of on the way from visiting a cousin in Lafayette to continue on my journey. So stopped by, picked up about 3 or 4 more of the caches I missed that weekend. Been running around to some of the events in between my work schedule. I'm still having to do full days of work down here, so but we watched the movie Clue on Monday night, and they had a bingo sheet where you had to sit there and check where you spied different things in the movie, and if you got the first one, you got some of their Bama bucks. So that was kind of a neat little side deal, and
Ah,
couple bonfires, couple of meet and greets at some restaurant type stuff. So been fun so far, not as many caches as I'd like. Earlier, if you caught me walking around, I was sitting there looking, and I had 2 caches that were within a quarter mile of the condo we've been staying at. I hadn't found yet, so I went for a walk, and one of them was a UV cache, so I figured at night that would be easier. Which I spied the coordinates, but it takes me 2.5 miles down the road, so I'll finish the second stage with 8 of a car. And daylight, because I like daylight in that case. But no, pretty good so far. Trip, look forward to Monday, where I finally complete my set of icons as I pick up the block party. So not a whole lot of other excitement other than, hopefully picking up, maybe 4 new counties on the way up, and I'll be down to like 9 counties left in Alabama to finish up. So
Excellent.
Wow, good work. Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for keeping us updated on, your trip down there. And be sure to swing by our booth. We actually have a booth at Bamarama that our friend Thomas is staffing for us. So swing by, say hi to him. And I know he has received, I sent down a shipment ahead of time for him. And he received it. It's been going through everything. He's having fun poking through everything that I sent down. And there's also $100 gift certificate that will be up for a raffle prize that we're donating to the organization, to Bamarama. So yeah, go for it. Hopefully you can win, or anybody else that's going. So, and that $100 can be used anything that we have here at Cash Advance. Could be, for a subscription if you wanted it. Could be merchandise. It could be our courses. It can be split up. We'll figure it out. We'll sort it out. How the winner wants to win and spend their $100 with us.
Okay.
So cool. Good luck.
Yep.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing. Yeah.
Okay, so on our YouTube, we have Great Desert is reporting we found our second FTF. It was a jigsaw puzzle you had to solve to get the chords. So yeah, I was like those.
Yeah.
And
Well, those are fun for sure.
Yeah.
The jigsaw puzzles. Yeah, I love puzzles.
except when it's raining.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we had literally a field puzzle. It was a geocache. You open the container and you have to put a jigsaw puzzle together out in the field, and it was raining when we got there. We didn't realize that was the situation. So we're like, covering it up and trying to keep it dry and put it together. But I think we did okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So did we do any caching?
So since last Mappy hour, yeah,
Mhm.
we went and we're telling about the what is it? 10 Nikons for every month, or
That challenge that
Yeah.
we're working on? Mm-hmm.
and we're shy on where I goes, so we were scoping out where I goes in the area
Mm-hmm.
and setting up a trip. So not this past weekend, the weekend before. Wow, we spent probably 8-hour round trip
Yeah.
going 50
South.
miles.
That's a crow flies.
Yeah,
That's
and-
crew drives a lot further.
And so yeah, we grabbed our where I go and then cleaned out the vectors of these little towns that we stopped at.
Yeah,
So
they're
we did
out.
quite a bit.
We did. It was out on the Palouse, south of us, between here and Pullman, near Steptoe Butte. We could see Steptoe Butte from quite a few
Mhm.
as we were driving along, which is an amazing, really high kind of mountain that just sticks up over the rolling Palouse. There's a whole history about that. You can look it up if you Google channeled scablands and Steptoe, just like it sounds, step and a toe, Butte.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Really
That's-
puts like Devil's Tower to shame and stuff.
yeah. But we had a really nice day out driving around, getting some caches. We had to drive by some, saving them for another time. And but we enjoyed a couple little hikes that we did, and we had a nice lunch along the way in a little town, and yeah, it was a fun day.
It was sunny, so that was nice.
Right. Yeah, always good to get out when
Mhm.
it's sunny for sure, which we haven't had much of lately.
Mhm.
And there was really no snow, so that was nice. Where now we've got about this much snow. It's going to melt. We're going to get more. It's just been snowing off and on for a couple days
It's almost
now.
like winter.
Yeah, it's kind of like winter. Yeah. Oh, Scott. Oh, you're asking what is the Palouse?
Hmm.
So, it is. How do I explain it? They are rolling hills. They're very fertile.
Mhm.
That are created from the winds from glacial loof. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that right. Loaf. It's when glaciers came through in the Ice Age, they dug up a lot of the sediment and left it behind as the glaciers receded. And then over the millennia, the winds have blown and they've blown them into these rolling, beautiful hills.
Mhm.
Looks like Mountain Goat, yeah, put a link in there, how to describe the Palouse.
Yeah,
So it's,
the best way to describe it is it's a rolling farmlands.
yeah,
Yeah.
covers hundreds of miles of eastern
Mhm.
and southeastern Washington. And there's just tiny little towns dotted around. And it's just gorgeous throughout any time of the year. You've got the winter wheat coming up, and then you've got regular wheat during the year, and then the harvest time. It's really, really scenic, pretty area. And it's the breadbasket of a lot of our country here. Actually, Washington, we produce a lot of wheat. People think of Washington apples, but there's a lot of wheat as well. So cool, Jim. Thanks for posting that. Yeah, and Lori says they're beautiful to drive through.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's mostly wheat country in Southeast Washington for sure. Yeah, just south of us, like 5 miles, the
Mhm.
Palouse starts, and it keeps on going all the way into Oregon, really.
Yeah, so I think that's what makes our area unique is,
Mhm.
you go that direction, you're in rolling hill farmland.
Mhm.
You go north, you're in mountains. You head west, you're in a high desert.
Mhm.
And you go east, you're back into the mountains and lakes and scenery and
And then you hit the
Yeah.
Rockies and the Continental Divide, and yeah, so yeah, Spokane truly is unique. You just have to drive 10 miles any direction, and you have just about everything. So yeah, it's
Mhm.
pretty cool.
we should probably get into our
Yeah,
topic.
we should. Yeah. So obviously we love Spokane and talking about our area around here, but tonight's topic is about geocaching love. Yeah, we'd love to know, what do you love about geocaching? Have you made new friends, new acquaintances, maybe even new love interests, new partners, through geocaching? What kind of caching do you love to do?
Or your favorite types of caches. You can go on about your lamppost finds and your earth caches and for some people puzzles.
Yeah, yeah, love to do puzzles. Well, do we want to start perhaps?
Sure.
Since I'm not seeing any hands flying up just this moment.
Well, check out what Mike said.
Oh, did I lose it?
No, it's right here, caching. Well, now you lost
Whoops,
it.
sorry.
Caching gave me a hole.
A new
There's
social
socials.
circle. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, really over the last 23 years. Yeah, I really have my community, my friends are really centered around geocaching.
Mhm.
It's my social circle these days. And I have met so many people, and I've had the opportunity to meet, I think, almost every one of you in person now, finally, and can call you all my friends as well. And we've gone caching together and such. So yeah, for sure.
Mhm. And Scott did raise his hand.
Yeah, go ahead, Scott.
I would say, what do I love about geocaching? Everything. I don't love everything about geocaching, but I love everything that I do in geocaching. So, but number one, of course, the people and, and then the places. And then, being retired, it's when you retire, if you don't have something to do, you're just going to dwindle away. And this geocaching gives me something to do pretty much every day, not necessarily out lifting up lamp skirts or something like that, but somewhere along the line, every day I'm doing something geocache oriented, and I love that.
Mhm. Yeah, and you you're not just playing the game, you're exploring the game, you're exploring every aspect of the game, you're teaching the game. So yeah, um, I think you like it a little bit, is what I mean.
I like it a little bit, and I'm actually now mentoring two people who are, they're on the spectrum someplace. They're high level spectrum people, but I am mentoring them into geocaching, and it's really fun.
Well, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. That could be really a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
I've done that mentoring of all different abilities and certainly on the spectrum as well. So that's something that a lot of folks can really grasp and gravitate to all the aspects of geocaching. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's been interesting because he, one of them is thinking at a different level than I am. I'm sitting there probably learning more from him, watching him because he's young and does, I'm kind of stuck in my 20-year routine and he's not. And he's showing me different ways to do things that are more efficient than what I've been doing. So yeah, been fun. Well, thank you very much.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. I think we've got Charles next.
So one of the things I really love, apart from meeting a brand new bunch of us, both new folks and the social aspect of the game, I love discovering new places. With some of the caches I'm doing, brings me out to places that I would probably never gone to off the beaten path. It's so easy to go from point A to point B, Spokane to Seattle, for example, and just go down the highway. You're geocaching, all of a sudden you're going there in a straight line via Utah and then back in there. A whole bunch of places. Just like I came back home from Thailand in a straight line. Stockholm and Copenhagen. Why not? And you go to places you've never gone before. I have discovered lost villages or towns or abandoned places around like Ottawa that I lived here all my life. I never went to there, but geocaching brought me there. So that's what I enjoy about it. It's just like going off the beaten path and just driving on the side roads, seeing those villages, those towns that you never go to. And just enjoy that. That is really something that I enjoy about the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing.
That-
Yeah.
I recognize a lot of that myself. Yeah, and even one more wrinkle to that is the geocaching will enhance some other non-geocaching event. Time to time we'll go do some local community event. One was a canoe trip up north, and which means it was in the mountains. And and so yeah, that sounds interesting. Oh, and look, here's these caches we can get too. And we combine the two. Yeah. It's really really enhanced that part, especially local travel.
Yeah, regional, local travel.
Yeah.
And the flip of that too is you plan a caching trip and then the things that you find along the way, just like you were saying. And I love asking locals, where's a good place to get lunch or something along that line. And you find the most amazing out of the way places that Google doesn't even know about, that are just amazing and meet the most interesting people. I don't know how many times I'm out caching and I've actually have run into a historian, just randomly. I mean, they're not like a docent somewhere. They know the history or they're actually an historian of the area. And we really get the in-depth knowledge about where we are. And like, how did you find this place? Like, oh, we had the coordinates.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So cool. Well, thanks, Charles, for sharing. So we've got a bunch of hands have come up. What's the order? Did
So
you
it's
notice?
Mike, yeah. So
Mike is-
this one's correct.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
we're looking at our screen
Top
here.
down, yeah.
Okay, so it's Mike, Tom, and then Melissa.
Okay, well, I have to kind of second the thing of the interesting places you see. I don't usually do large scale diversions because of cache work. Although I've got a humdinger coming up next year because I'm going out to an event in Seattle, and on the way back I'm planning to hit Gilby. But other things is that when I'm generally in an area, last year I was at the the North American Science Fiction Convention in Buffalo, New York, and I was just chasing caches and munsies, and as a consequence, I got to see all kinds of bits and pieces of architecture and at one point there was a cache hidden on the bottom of a sign next door to an outdoor art exhibition and stuff. So it's like, so I get to see all kinds of these little things that I wouldn't even know how to find. It's just that people hide something nearby and, oh, hey, this looks neat. And so, and previous year I'd been in Chicago and found this for the World Science Fiction Convention that year and found this large park a couple of blocks away from the hotel that you wouldn't have found because the height differences there are crazy. So I found a light pole cache in a parking lot, then went over to the edge and looked down, and there's this zigzaggy stairway going down to this huge park that you wouldn't otherwise know was there unless you just happened to wander into it. So that's one of the interesting things is all the small things I get to see. Just chasing around between geocaching and munsies because the munsies can be packed a lot more densely than geocaches, so I end up seeing a lot of things. And it's just that's one of the other fun aspects is just you never know what small things you're going to see. Like I say, I don't normally do the big diversions, but small explorations of somewhere I happen to be with a couple of spare hours to kill, that can make for a lot of fun things.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, definitely echo all of that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's go on to Tom and then Melissa.
Yeah.
So, Mike, did you happen to go to see the Earth Cache, the Perpetual Flame, south of Buffalo? That was one of the favorite that I did last year. And,
no, I was under something of a time constraint, and I was at an event, so I went around town because I had a couple of spare hours, but it wouldn't have been long enough to go that far away. So
yeah, if you ever get back to Buffalo, why head south and get that Earth Cache. It's worth getting your feet wet for.
Yes.
yeah, well, I am trying to plot some things in advance for the Seattle trip. Unfortunately, there don't seem to be that many geocaches around the convention center.
Yeah.
Oh, in Seattle. Yeah.
Okay, Seattle people, let's solve that problem.
Okay, and also, in April I got to meet Melissa at northeast of Erie, Pennsylvania, at the Eclipse event. So that was a fun trip.
Yeah.
That trip was the same trip where you found the eternal flame, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that was what, April-ish? April?
Yeah, April 8th was the eclipse.
Okay.
I caught the eclipse at the Welcome Center as you come into Ohio from Pennsylvania. There was less clouds there than there was in Buffalo or Erie.
Yeah. So was at the eternal flame, was there a lot of waterfall or?
Yeah, it was a waterfall, but you had to walk upstream.
Yeah.
It was like a chasm. So you had to cross the stream at least 3 or 4 times. It was only 6 or 8 inches deep at the deepest, but it was a fun walk, and you couldn't get there without getting your feet wet at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, I highly recommend that one as well. We did it when we were there for ASP, which would have been in mid-May, the Allegheny State Park event. So we would probably the lower water.
I wasn't at the ASP that you were at, but I did make it to ASP twice.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's some fun stuff too.
Yeah, we've only been one.
And got the Earth Cache in Warren, Pennsylvania. That was at the, it was an oil well that's next to the McDonald's drive-through.
My goodness.
Yep, it's the only McDonald's that has its own oil well,
Wow.
which is an Earth Cache.
Yeah, I'll take some fries with that.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I don't know. I think having the last Blockbuster is a better achievement.
Yeah, than an oil well. Yeah.
There.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Mhm.
So let's see, we've got Melissa and then Scott.
So I actually obviously love the Day of Love. I'm dressed for it. So, but as far as geocaching goes, I was supposed to be in Indianapolis today, but we didn't go due to the incoming weather because we had to be home on Monday. We didn't have any flex time with this business trip of my husband's. But what is so nice is he has these business trips, and I didn't go lots of times because I wasn't retired yet. I still had a child at home. But now that I am retired because he's gone off to college, I go on these business trips. And before geocaching, when I would go, I'd be like trying to find a museum or something, you know. And sometimes what I found was fun, but lots of times I found I didn't have much fun. And I, was spending all day not doing a whole lot. I mean, I didn't want to go shopping. So now that I have geocaching, I can always find something fun to do, and I love that. And then, of course, I met so many of you guys. Still looking forward to meeting Scott someday. But like the guys who are putting on Geo Woodstock, I've gotten to know them for a couple of years because it's not that far away from me. And, we were just at an event casually a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. What can I do to help you? And stuff like that. And they're gonna have a big party to pack the stuff, and I'm gonna go help with that. So
Nice.
I'll get to see all the swag in person beforehand. So, but it's just things like that, because I've made plans with Nancy and Bob to get together and do some things and geocache, because I met them through Mappy Hour and stuff like that. And so, yes, I mean, the people, when I was doing this years ago, I didn't know these things. And Mappy Hour has taught me so much more about geocaching that I love it. Whereas before it was something to do when I was camping on the weekend. Now it's, something I'm like, oh, is there an event going on? Can I do something? So yes. I'm so thrilled that you started this, Lisa, because it has taught me so much.
Awesome. Well,
and I've met so many of you.
Yeah. Well, you're so welcome. And it's brought so much to us to, having a chance to meet all of you guys that we have and have adventures and gone caching and staying with folks. And yeah, it definitely has added so much to our lives. Caching is our life in a way, for sure. So cool. I look forward to seeing you again soon, Melissa. Yeah. I think we've got Scott next.
Just one thing and then an add-on thing. What I wanted to mention how nice it is to have the WSG, the Washington guys involved in Yuma. It just kind of re-sparked and brought new energy to it. So shout out to all of the people who were there and worked on it, and it was really, really nice. And then Melissa had mentioned this year's Geo Woodstock. The geocaching podcast just did an interview with them, and it really sounds exciting. There's a lot of things that they've done. They've really thought this all out, how to get 5,000 people into a small town and not make it seem like it's 5,000 people into a small town by offering more things than people are going to be able to do, so they'll be able to do what they want to do. So I would suggest listen to that. It's a really good interview.
Mhm.
That's
Okay.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, go ahead and post the link in the chat.
okay. I'll take care of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for that episode.
And
Cool.
then, so Scott, you asked a question of me in the chat.
Yes, I did.
I'll let you decide. So, where we actually walk around
Wait,
and
you ask the question again so people know what it is.
oh,
The
did I
question is,
find a
have you
geocache?
ever found a geocache when you're out elk hunting?
hunting. And where where we actually walk around and be very, very quiet, there are no geocaches. But we have to get there and back, and on the way back or to another hunting ground, we passed one of mountain bikers' caches and said, well, we're going to stop and get this. So and so it was with her brother, and
It was a geocacher as well.
and he lived in the area 40 plus years.
Yeah.
And he'd never been to this spot where we went to get this earth cache. So it was all new to him too.
Yeah, so we learned something new.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was just something he's probably driven by so many times.
Yeah. And then there's another link. It's a stretch, but I'm gonna say it. One of our summer challenges we put on a while back was you just made up stuff. Here on this spot was, and
the fun challenge.
Yeah.
For fun.
And then others did really true things that were weird. And so I did one about the 1895 racehorse called Spokane and won the Kentucky Derby. The racehorse was named Spokane, and this is all true story. And the thing was, the horse never set foot in Spokane. And where I hid the geocache is a park now, but it used to be the horse race venue back in the early 1900s. And I didn't know it, but fast forward some years, and we're driving back and forth from elk hunting, and when we're coming back, it's generally daylight, but when we're going down, it isn't. And I'm noticing this really ornate red barn near Twin Bridges, Montana, that is just it's not your normal barn. It is well kept up. It's very big. And so I asked my brother-in-law Todd, what's that? Says, oh, well, that's where this horse called Spokane lived in. I said, what? So I gave him the next 20 minutes on the history of this horse is called Spokane. He's going, what? So yeah, it's a
small world.
Yeah, it gets to be a small world really fast. Yeah.
So you asked me if I thought that was related. I'll just kind of put it on a vote. If you think that was geocaching related and he did find a geocache while elk hunting, raise your hand. Yep. Well, a couple of us.
Yeah. Not out walking around, but there and back for sure.
And I've actually thought about placing one there, but I'm thinking it's prudent. We're not the only hunters. Right. And I'd sure hate to have a non-hunting person want to take a hike on this fine fall day.
During hunting season.
During hunting season, might not know it's hunting season.
Yeah, and it's well hunted area.
So
yeah. It's something you might have to disable during hunting season.
Well, I don't know if that helps disabling things.
They might still have it. Yeah.
Excellent. There's a link to the
question.
podcast.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I've got a few thoughts that I want to share, but I see Tom has his hand up.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So while I was out laying out my Ashton Eaton Geo art and also the Olympic rings, the one and only time I ever saw a wolf in the woods in Oregon. Yeah. And also the last day that I was out hiding the Olympic rings, I did see an elk.
So you saw more elk than I did.
Yeah, I was surprised to see an elk running through the woods.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't see them that often, but I just happened to be there at the right time to see one.
Nice.
Well, that's awesome. Cool. Thanks for sharing that.
What you got, Lisa?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah. You can see her?
This is going to be my letterbox hybrid cache. It's a container that was out with one of my geocaches for over 10 years. And geocaching said, well, nobody found this in 10 years, so you got to go check on it. So I did. I said, I drove 73 miles, found this container, not a drop of water in it. And then a couple months later, somebody found it.
Wow. Nice.
Nope, we lost your audio.
Did you lose audio?
Okay. Huh. Were you through?
Okay.
Okay, you were through. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. At least somebody saw some elk this year. Yeah, maybe next year for you or us. Yeah. So one of the things that I was thinking about that a couple of you mentioned on, and it was a theme, is volunteering through geocaching. And so many of us have given so much of our time and energy into the game, by hiding caches, one of the simplest things. Another is all the times that we volunteered and helped out at events. Like Melissa was saying, helping to stuff registration bags. We've been able to go early and stay late at a lot of events lately and have been able to, volunteer at different events. We put together part of the maze at Flagstaff, and we helped volunteer at going caching. We volunteered multiple times at the APE event, and we're hoping to be able to do that again. APE event again is coming. I haven't got the APE cache, another icon. That event has been published for the summer, and I love being able to do that. For so many years with my business, I was working during a lot of these events, and the way I've restructured things, I'm able to free up some of my time and do more volunteering. And that's just so rewarding. I mean, I see as many people basically as I would have at my booth, but volunteering, we see them in a different light for sure.
And it's been very recently the mega events have been using the volunteer scheduling service.
Yes, that works so well.
And that has allowed us to be able to get in there and help out. And that was a game changer. That was very fun. That's how we ended up helping to put the maze together.
Yeah.
To the chagrin of everybody else putting the maze together, but
so much help. Well, you were a big help, but being Paul, I just kind of like pointed here and there. I did do some videoing while we were putting it together, but it was just good to be there for sure. Yeah. And all the other times, handing out registration bags at going caching and helping people in and out of the tunnel at the APE event. That's been a ton of fun, seeing everybody going into the tunnel, letting them know what to expect, since we've done it a couple of times already.
We know to now have a first aid kit with us.
For sure. Yeah. And tell everybody, take your sunglasses off before you go into a dark tunnel.
Yeah.
But so that's something that I've really loved as well, along with everything else about geocaching, that the exercise, the mental stimulation, the friends I've met, being able to support myself and my business from this fun game as well, and contribute to the products and the hides and the geo tours that we've put on, and all the other events and cash machines and such. And then bumping into this guy.
Stuff happens.
Yeah, stuff happens. Yeah. And even our wedding reception was a geocaching event, not the actual wedding. We had a lot of geocachers there that were our friends, but then we opened up the reception to the public and or the geocaching and news. So the newspaper was there too. But that's a whole other story. So that was kind of my thoughts. I just wanted to bring that out there, that I really encourage you all to volunteer. If you've got some events, big events coming up, or if you're even attending one, take a look at those volunteer schedules. And if you can work in an hour or two there, it's so rewarding and so necessary for putting on these really big events where you've got, like Melissa was saying, over 5,000 people coming to a small community. Having those extra hands before, during, and after can really make a difference for everybody involved. So yeah, give it a try.
Then just a quick fun fact for JNLA. So these tunnels the temperature of the tunnel remains constant as the average temperature for the year. So, we go to Ape in the summer in August, and we have our short sleeves and shirts on, and it's like 45 degrees or so in the tunnel.
50 something maybe.
And
but it's a 2-mile long tunnel.
Yeah.
So
then if you were to go to the tunnel like this week where it was 1 and 2 below, you go into the tunnel to warm up.
Well, but you can't get into the tunnel. It's closed this time of year.
Oh man.
Yeah,
No
unfortunately.
wonder why I couldn't warm up.
Yeah, so you have to hike up from below if you're going for the Ape cache. But yeah, it's a constant, very cold. And it's a long walk if you're walking. Much better on a bicycle.
Well, until you run into people.
Well, yeah, if you have good lights. For sure. Yeah, it's definitely an adventure. We really encourage everybody to come up for that. I'm excited that it's going to be back this year, the Ape event. And I think they're hoping for block party. I'm not sure.
We should figure out how we can be the tour guides to Smokies and back.
Ooh,
yeah.
Our favorite barbecue place. Maybe we can see about having an event.
Yes, exactly.
They're adjacent to a nice park too. State park.
State park. Yeah.
Yeah. Iron Horse State Park. Kind of related. Yeah. All right. Food for thought. Stay tuned. Oops. We have more messages that have come in the chat. Lori, do you have the GC code? Oh, it is posted above.
Posted.
I posted it up above.
Okay, awesome. There it is. I see it. Yeah. So just scroll up and you'll see the post there. Got it? Okay, awesome. Cool. Thank you so much. So I think we'll wrap this up because we are 5 minutes after Mappy hour. And I'm sorry, but drinks are full price now.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't love about geocaching.
What?
Drinks become full price eventually.
Yeah, eventually. But it is Valentine's, so yeah. So tonight has been sponsored. I have 2 things to share with you all for tonight. One is our latest t-shirt. It is our Cacher Love shirt. It's pink and it is red in a heart shape. And I have that, hang on, let me get that just a moment. Link for you all, just in time for Valentine's. There we go, is where you can go for the t-shirt. And this one is 100% cotton, and it fits great. It's our usual stock that we do for all of our t-shirts. And I really like this one. It came out nice. It is pink, but it's a subtle light, very light pink, but bright red casher. And so we're happy to make one just in your size. So that's where you go to get that. And then speaking of winter time, like I teased at the very beginning, I talked about, the bad weather that a lot of us are experiencing, and it's not always the greatest time to get out geocaching when some of us, although not all of us like Scott, have beautiful weather down in California. But up here in the north, it's cold and snowy and icy and dark early and dark late. Seems like it's a good time to work on puzzles. And a lot of you have taken our puzzle course that we released late last spring on how to solve substitution puzzles. Well, we are coming out with a new one, which is all about understanding coordinates. And it's not ready yet, but we have a wait list. So if you want to be first to know when that is going to be released, anybody on our wait list will also get opportunity for early bird special. So you save some. And there'll be some bonuses as well. So go ahead. I just posted the link in there. It's cachingleague.com/sign up. And that's where you go just to get on the wait list. There's no obligation. It just puts you on the list. And then we'll let you know when we're ready for folks that are on the wait list to get early access, and you can get early bird pricing on that. So it's all about understanding coordinates, which is truly the building blocks of what geocaching is built on. And a lot of puzzles use different aspects of coordinates, and you really need to have a good understanding of the basics of how they work to solve the puzzles, to plug in and figure out what the actual coordinates are. So that's what this course will be all about. It'll be coming out soon. So take a look there, get on the list if you're interested in more information about that. Again, it's no obligation. It's just a wait list to find out and get early bird pricing on that.
Yeah, it's a good course for coordinates. Coordinates are fascinating. Mountain Goat Gym has in the past and currently has puzzles about coordinates and their conversions that are is awesome. And it seems like the format of coordinates we're used to in geocaches is like geocaching are the only people that uses those coordinates in that format, and everybody else has different formats. And it's interesting to know and to be able to, it's almost like a foreign language. You see the coordinates pop up on your TV show and, well, I know what that says.
I know it's different. It's not what we're used to in geocaching. So how do you, change for that? And then the different coordinate structures, and just again, understanding how geocaching uses the coordinates. So that's how you can get what you need to solve the puzzle that you might be working on. So that's a link for the wait list on that. It'll be coming out. I don't have an exact date. The work has been done, but I'm still putting it together.
February 31st.
Yeah, probably. Leap day. Before then. I don't know. Anyway, definitely before the next leap day for sure, but very soon. So go ahead and sign up. We'd love to have you on that. Get the early information out to you. And then in the meantime, Valentine's Day, maybe time for a love casher shirt. All right, guys. Well, that's all that I had. It was actually a lot. Sorry. But so have a fantastic weekend coming up. And I appreciate you guys spending another Friday night with us here.
Good Star Cashers Valentine.
Oh my gosh. Happy Valentine's Day. I love that. Love Katie. Awesome.
Annette got hers.
Annette got a nice card. Awesome. Well, we're going to be spending our weekend with family My dad turns 95 tomorrow, and he's still living independently at home with my stepmom, and we're having a little party for him tomorrow afternoon.
Mhm.
And yeah, and then Sunday we're driving out to St. Regis in Montana to go visit his sisters. Probably spend the night because the next day is President's Day. So a lot of folks might be getting that holiday here in the United States for President's Day holiday. So if you do, yeah, do some caching. And
Okay.
don't forget, puzzle solving makes a great date night.
And remember to save the chat because there's link after link after link of a geocache that's close to me of November 17th. So
Yes.
I need to be at those.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. It was great to see you all for sure. Happy Valentine's Day. And we will see you all